Thank you for watching.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
From the beautiful city of Abuja, it is my pleasure to warmly welcome you to today's edition of Money Radio on Leadership TV. Today being Monday, this is the national economy segment of the program, and in the studio with me to my left is our delectable and our regular guest on this show, Mr. Anthony Uko. But our special guest, who comes from the National Cooperative Finance Agency of Nigeria, is Mr. Emmanuel Atama. So Atama is the CEO of that agency, and it is a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much.
So the topic we are discussing today is why SMEs are turning to cooperatives for financing or for loans. And of course, you are in good company when you see a person like Mr. Atama, who is the CEO of Abuja Cooperative. It is a pleasure having you again.
Thank you, sir.
So we are going to be bombarding him with questions about cooperatives today, and you are welcome to send your comments and your questions while we are on this show. So, Mr. Atama, welcome again.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, recently in fact, just last week, we had increase in the rate of interest at that is prime lending rate from the CBN, that is the Monetary Policy Committee, that raised the interest rate by 150 basis points from 11.5 to 13. Before now, we had been having interest rates among the commercial banks fluctuating, or do I use the word fluctuating, or spanning between 21% and 28%. With that increase from the MPC from 11.5 to 13, we can expect that interest rates at these commercial banks is actually going to rise. And so many people are actually turning. Before now, people have been turning to cooperatives for loans. And that's why we want to have your input today. Why are people really turning to start with?
Thank you very much. I think the Central Bank of Nigeria uses various instruments to control the volume of funds in the economy, and also the way of regulating funds in the economy. I so much believe that once the rate increases, banks look at it lucrative to advance more loans to people. So I believe that one of the instruments the central bank is using to make a turnaround within the economy. No wonder last week, a couple of banks were approaching me, want to lend to cooperatives, and I was wondering the excitement of banks that they want to lend to cooperatives. Not until I got the monetary policy decision, I said, "Oh, that is the issue." But like I always tell the cooperatives, a good businessman or woman uh, do business with borrowed funds. The customers actually pay for the loan. The interest. What you actually need to do is to make sure that you balance the cost very well so that you will still make money and you still be in business. Then talking about why SMEs are turning to cooperatives for funding. The cooperative is the hub of SMEs in the sense that if you look at the origin of cooperatives, it is due to the failure of government, the failure of the organized private sector in effectively meeting the needs of the people that gave rise to the emergence of cooperatives. And the cooperatives, in a well practiced scene, you will see that it is the coming together of businessmen and women. They come together to form the cooperative. Sometimes you discover that individual need much money to set up a company in a particular endeavor. Take, for example, the issue of health services. If a doctor wants to set up an hospital of his own, he will look for a lot of funds to do that. But a group of medical doctors can come together and divide the sum among themselves and set up an hospital, and yet all of them can still claim that they are owners of the hospital.
Exactly.
That is what cooperatives do. Because government has failed to provide certain services, the private sector also have failed to provide certain services to the satisfaction of those people that form the cooperative, and they say we could do better. They came together. So once you have a cooperative, it's not distinct from a company. The, the people that form it came together to form it. And once they have it, they have furniture makers at the Kubo furniture market. What is their pursuit? They want to have a common facility for processing of their materials to finish products. You look at the technical side, is that not?
Yeah.
Yes.
They also want to have a common showroom where when you finish your product from your shop, you can go and place it there. Then the third one is that they want to have access to finance so that they can expand the market. If you look at it, you discover that it is not basically for funding. In a climate where cooperative is well practiced, there are so many things that makes them to come together. So SME today, they have fluctuations in their activity. Take for example, during the time of COVID, you discover that a lot of them went down. But I tell you, the reports we got from most of our cooperatives is that the cooperatives made them to come back to life because the cooperative economy exists beyond the actual economy that me and you operates, in the sense that is like a bunker that when they throw stones at you, throw bullets at you, you go in and you are safe. So, and that is the more reason why you see that during the COVID, during the lockdown, a lot of them that could not do anything, once they came back after the lockdown was ceased to be there, they were able to access funds from their cooperative and they were able to come back to life. And that is why two things that the cooperatives do for the members, the SMEs, the owners of business, is that it gives them opportunity to save when things are yet normal. When things are normal, they are saving in anticipation that one, there could be a bigger order. An SME may be into bread making. He has been producing maybe about 1,000 bread every day. But all of a sudden, he got a big order that spanned over, like you talk about the school feeding. Maybe he gets the school feeding this thing. So instead of him going to the banks where they will charge him 28, he goes to his cooperative, they will charge him 6% per annum. Very ridiculous rate, you know. And he is very much comfortable there because he doesn't need to go through the rigors of bring your grandfather's picture. Even if you're able to bring it, they ask whether he went to secondary school. If you're able to show that, they will ask whether he snapped with his teacher. At the end, the banks will not give you the money. But the cooperative, so long as you are a member and you are saving regularly, what they do for you is that look for one or two persons that can cover your exposure, because cooperatives always give either double or triple of your savings. So if you look for one or two persons that can cover your exposure, then you have the loan. Okay? So the second thing that the cooperative also do for their members is that when there is a downturn, like I spoke about the issue of COVID, or during the financial meltdown, the reports we receive from our global body at Belgium, the International Cooperative Alliance, is that the cooperative even grew stronger in the face of meltdown, in the face of COVID. So they turn to cooperative because it creates sustainability. I continue to challenge those who manages intervention funds that if you give funding to a particular entrepreneur this year, why is that person coming back next year? The reason is because such a person or such an enterprise is not in the cooperative movement. If not, if you are in the cooperative movement, as soon as you access loan, as you are paying the loan, you are also growing your savings. So the loan you took at the first instance is not the same as the one you will take by the time you have paid off. Because when you have paid off, your capacity have grown, you take a bigger one. So if you actually want to entrench sustainability in terms of technical empowerment of businessmen and women in their chosen enterprise, if you want to achieve financial sustainability, then we look towards the cooperative. Because one of the important things the cooperative do is that it creates peer pressure. We look at it, the three of us are members of the cooperative. So if you can save, so that means I cannot save. Yeah. If you can save, she cannot save. And then we'll be looking at ourselves that if I don't save, I will look like an outcast. Is that not? Yeah. So even if you have the intention that you're not going to save, you are wowed by the pressure to go and save. And if you look at the simple economics, for any investment to be there, you start with savings.
Yeah.
Is that not?
Yes.
And if we're able to mobilize Nigerians into cooperative, and you see that the chunk of the people are saving, I tell you, we will have good investment in the land. Because what cooperative do is that Cooperative encourages you that no matter how small it is, save for the rainy day.
Yeah, you've painted a very good picture about the cooperative. But one thing that I see here as a snag, like the conventional banks, it's for everybody. You may not have to have an account with that bank or save with that bank before you can approach them for lending. Of course, at the end of the day, the requirements may be such that you cannot meet them. But the issue there is that it's open for all. But the cooperative here, it's close circuited, sort of, only for members. So how do you intend now? How do you is it able to reach out to a wider people who are not part of this cooperative in terms of um, lending, if you want it to, take the place of like commercial banks or um, maybe the microfinance banks or conventional banks.
Thank you. The issue is that every enterprise has its own features,
Yeah.
and it has its own players. Like in the case of Nigeria,
Yes.
the law that set up the cooperatives, Cooperative Act 2004 Cap 98 LFN, anticipates that people who do not have much opportunities,
Mm.
like I said earlier, one or two persons can go and set up a company,
Yeah.
and what it means that that person is buoyant
Mhm.
to bring out the resources to run that company. Is that not?
Yes.
But in the case of cooperative, those who came together to form that cooperative are many.
Okay.
They don't have the type of resources that the big men have,
Mm.
but they want to make sure they are able to control certain things, and that is why they came together to form it. So it is for them. It is not for those who are not interested. Interested. That is why the culture of cooperative globally is that it is going to be of service to those that form it in terms of savings, in terms of loan. The reason is because these people have suffered to put these things together. Bring somebody who have no stake,
Mm.
he will bastardize it and walk away. Then even talk about the banks also. The banks can never give you loan if you don't have account with them. And we have seen how they have messed up some people. They will ask you to open account and run it for 3 months, 6 months, and you never get the loan. But I assure you that once you open a cooperative account with a cooperative, depending on what you have put in, either double or triple of what you have put in, you will surely get it. So you can see the difference between it. And what we are not saying is that we are not looking at a cooperative that will stand very big somewhere and say, everybody come and join.
Okay.
The cooperative now operates in family meetings, tribal meetings, church association, mosque association. So if you go now, is that it's not only in government offices or in private organized private sector.
Sector.
You go to the parks,
Mhm.
you go to hotels,
Mm.
anywhere you go now, you find cooperative because people have discovered that it is the best way to go. It has peer pressure.
Mhm.
It meets the needs of the people. Let me tell you one thing we have even done with the cooperative now, that CFAN, the National Cooperative Financing Agency of Nigeria,
Okay.
is a member of the Technical Committee for Financial Inclusion in Central Bank.
Okay.
And
Yes.
today, we are drivers of the financial inclusion strategy
Okay.
based on our spirit.
Mm.
And for that reason, one of the things we have done recently is that we observe that in ministries and departments, people come to work late or leave work early because they want to go and pay children's school fees, they want to go to bank to withdraw money or whatever. So our cooperatives now do agency banking. They also do this form of POS
Pure.
services. So that if you want to do transfer, you want to withdraw, you want to do anything, you do it within your office.
Wow.
And what is it doing now? The cooperatives are now becoming quasi banks in those places. So what we are now saying is that if the cooperative are working effectively, I tell you, before the central bank will fix monetary policy, the rates at the monetary policy committee, they will consult the cooperatives. The reason is because you discover that the vast majority of the people are running their cooperative, picking loans from the cooperative. The money in the banks will become redundant.
Oh.
And once it's redundant, the banks took this money from the people at a rate.
Yeah.
So they will be looking for who will take the money from them.
No wonder they are
And
coming
then,
to you.
yes, and then you now discover that it will not drastically, it will drastically bring down the rate. I was in Israel to understudy the Israeli cooperatives, and I discovered that in Israel, the cooperative movement and regulatory body interface with the Bank of Israel through the banking supervision department. And what do they do? What they do is that on a regular basis, they provide data. And as I speak with you, we have started implementing that. As from the month of January to March, we have received data from our cooperative. How much savings were mobilized? How much loans were given? And how many members do we have? And what is their gender distribution? And then
This topic is getting interesting. Let's take a short break. Once we come
Okay.
back, we want to delve more into what you're
you.
discussing.
Thank you.
Stay tuned, listeners.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
Welcome back, viewers. You're still on to Money Radio, and today we are discussing why SMEs are turning to cooperatives for loans. And we have in the studio a revered guest, Mr. Emmanuel Atama, who is the CEO of Cooperative Financing Agency of Nigeria. Still in the studio also is Mr. Anthony Uko. Welcome back. So just before we went on that break, Mr. Atama, you were talking about models like you witnessed in Israel, and you were trying to adopt that into the Nigerian banking system. Whereas, and you are painting a picture where in the near future, before the MPC begins to form rates of interest, they will consult with cooperatives. That means cooperatives are actually becoming powerful. The future is bright for cooperatives. Please go ahead.
Even in the US,
Yeah.
we have the World Union of Credit Cooperatives, WOCO. And the same way the National Cooperative Financing Agency of Nigeria is interfacing with the Central Bank of Nigeria and also helping in driving financial inclusion strategy down to the grassroots, the WOCO is doing in America, the USA, by also interfacing with the Central Bank of the USA in helping to make sure that the people at the lower level of the pyramid are also feeling included in promoting inclusive growth and development. So, as I was saying, concerning the state of Israel, you discover that whatever happens within the cooperative movement, the data is in the palm of the Bank of Israel,
Yeah.
and it aids decision making. But in the case of Nigeria today, apart from what the microfinance banks are doing, there are no other way of getting raw data from the informal sector, people at the bottom of the pyramid.
Yeah.
And so recently, we look at it and say, no, what we should do is that on a quarterly basis, we should send to the central bank information about savings mobilized at both establishment cooperative and community-based cooperative. And they are sending the data, you know, about savings, about loans, and then the member distribution, male and female. As at the time we were working together with the central bank to bring up the framework for access to finance for women. And then the Women World Banking visited my office and they were asking me that what are the opportunities for women in cooperative? That what is the gender gap? I say in cooperative, there is no man, there is no woman. What we have is members. So that is the reason why, because we are all contributing.
Yeah.
And because we are all contributing, so we have the opportunities that we have is equal to what we are putting. In cooperative, if you have 1,000 naira and I have 1 million, one man, one vote.
Yeah.
You don't have more than that. So what I'm trying to say in essence now is that we have introduced that data gathering and sending it to the policymakers so that they will take informed decision about what is obtainable within the informal sector.
Okay.
That earlier before now, that was not in place. Then we have also made it a point of policy that all loans given should also be uploaded on the credit bureau.
Okay.
We discovered recently that when some of our members took loan, because these loans are not captured anywhere in the formal sector, they still go back to the banks and took loan. And then when you go to places like the IPPIS, you see a competition between the banks and the cooperative trying to recover their money.
Yeah.
And most often, the banks have upper hands. You know, so when I say to make sure that we curb this distortion in the economy, so nothing should stop us from also uploading our credit on the credit bureau.
Yeah.
And I tell you that as we continue to do that, very soon you will see between us and the banks, we will have more people
Yes.
on the credit bureau.
That,
Is
that, that, that would be very
that is one
interesting.
reform. That is
That
one
would be,
reform we are
yes,
doing.
that would be very interesting to give the banks a run for their money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing I would like to bring up here is the issue of if I'm wrong, please correct me. The what I know about the traditional cooperative, like Isusu in Yoruba, is that someone goes around, collects these contributions on a daily basis, and then at the end of the month, the person contributing collects it back. Is that the same scenario here? And also, what applies with this one is that at the end of the month, the person who is contributing is the one who pays the Esusu collector some percentage for the job they are doing, and the saver does not get any interest, which is detrimental to the person saving. It's like you're giving out your money, the person is keeping it, he can lend it out to other people and get interest without getting anything beyond what they've contributed. Is that how it's operated here? If not, can you shed more light on how the cooperative functions?
You know, the Esusu, the Adache,
Yes.
the Ajo, they have local names for cooperative.
Yes.
But you discover that the way the traditional Ajo, Adache, Esusu do, they need to be reformed.
Okay.
Because if they are not reformed, just like you said, the members the people who are contributing this money, they don't benefit anything.
Yes.
The traditional Esusu and this, they are not actually cooperatives.
Okay.
Most of the time, they are one man or one woman business, but it need to be transformed. Cooperatives also, most of them collect daily contributions, and that is not their main contribution. Cooperatives have various type of contributions. The first one is the shares. Once you form the cooperative, every member buys shares.
Okay.
And when they buy shares, it gives them authority to be one of the owners of the business, so that one person cannot claim to be the owner of the cooperative. Then the second leg is for the person to declare a monthly contribution, either weekly, monthly, or fortnightly. The contribution will be coming. Then from there, the person can also declare if he or she want to do target savings. You could target Eid Kabir, you could target Christmas, you could target children education. So it gives you opportunity to do such savings. And one thing, when people move around to collect this money in form of susu or whatever, is because such persons have not imbibed the opportunities that are there in technology. Okay? And that is why they are still going around. And it has a lot of issues. You go around and go and collect money in this trying period. Somebody can target you on the road and collect the money from you. But now we have told our members no cash payment at meetings. What we receive at meetings are either bank tellers or evidence of transfers or USSD code that you have done. One, the bank statement that the cooperative receive at the end of every month help them to properly articulate who has paid the money and who has not paid. And for that reason, the issue of I paid, they didn't record it, won't be there because there are evidences that are provided through the electronic system. So we on our own have gone to bring up a software that can compete favorably with the bank. We call it the Unified Cooperative Platform. It was launched in 2016 by the Honorable Minister supervising cooperative from the Ministry of Agriculture at 3J Hotels here. And since then, we've been using it. We have cooperatives that are over 5,000 members spread across Nigeria that are using it. And what are the features? It's a cloud-based system that each of the ESCO that are operating on it have their password and have a space allocated to them. You can't go outside your authorization. Then, for the member, and then he provides monthly reports. As you put in, you get the report.
Okay. I think
It's automated.
we would have to take another time to continue on this discussion. One last thing before we will have to wrap up on this section. I brought up the issue of interest. Do you pay interest to the people who are saving?
Yes.
Okay.
The cooperative is the only enterprise that even when you are servicing loan, you still get interest paid to you. In fact, when cooperative declare dividend, there is interest that is paid on the savings and there is interest that is paid on the loan amount you have taken. You take the loan, you pay the interest to the cooperative. The cooperative aggregates the interest that are paid on loan, aggregates interest generated from maybe some other activities of the cooperative. Then it becomes a dividend. When it becomes a dividend, they want to pay. They will pay for what is the balance on your savings, and then also pay you on the loan amount you have taken to encourage you to take more loan, because those who take loan create wealth for the cooperative. So we pay interest.
Okay, all right.
It has been a very interesting conversation. I plead with you that next time we have a time like this to invite you. You honor our invitation.
I will gladly honor.
All right. It's been good having you. That's the way we want to wrap up the show today. It's been a nice one. And so thank you very much for coming also. Mr. Tama, thank you very much. We say thank you to our producers, but we mostly say thank you to those of you who follow us loyally on this program. We'll be back tomorrow with another edition of Money Radio on Leadership TV. Until then, we'd like to say have a great day. Take care.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.